based on, look at that. That's amazing. I mean, and it was so quick. Okay, so Anthropic just released a new feature called routines, which you can run your scheduled tasks or routines, so they call them, in the cloud. So you don't have to have your computer on at all. So in a way, I think they are trying to kill OpenClaw in a way by actually starting to introduce this. For transparency, this is still in preview mode, but it is pretty cool. It is heavily tailored for the engineering community, but I'm going to show you a use case using Miro MCP and Gmail. So there are a few ways of accessing it. This here is the Claude.ai, so this is the web version of it. In the code section, if you go to routines now, you'll see I don't have any routines created yet. There are a bunch of templates, like a brief, so a summary of your calendar, emails, and messages. Then you can have an email triage, issue triage, system health check, PR review, digest, dependency update check. So they will check your dependencies in your GitHub repository, release notes, drafter, and then the flaky test tracker as well. Most of them will be reliant on the GitHub repository. But if you think and you're creative about how you can use routines in the cloud, you can definitely use that for your design and product management duties. So when we click on create routine, we're going to see all the options available to us. So we can give it a name and a description. So this is the directive that we want Claude Code to follow when it is executing it. So you would put all the details inside here. Then you can change the model as well. So if you don't want to use Opus because it's maybe expensive, you can definitely use Sonnet, maybe even a Haiku 4.5. Then if you are working inside of a repository, so if you are working with PRs and releases, you can definitely select a repository, but I'm going to show you a different use case, which is going to be way closer to your product management responsibilities. And then we have different triggers. So the first one is the schedule one. As you can imagine, you can set up hourly, daily, weekly, weekdays, and then custom as well, and specify a time. So you can do that from here. Then if you were to hook up, let's say, a GitHub repository, you get the option to use GitHub events as a trigger. So the three most obvious ones that they show us is the PR open. So when a PR is open, this routine is going to pick this up and then execute it and inform you maybe, or create a release note or something like that. Then a PR merge, and then release being published. So these are very engineering heavy, but you can also click on or choose a custom event. And if you do that, you're going to get way more events. They are still very engineering heavy. So all pull requests type of triggers or release triggers. But again, we will be looking from a product management's perspective today. And then obviously you can go a little bit more granular when it comes to filters. You can specify an author, title, body, can be super powerful. Then the third trigger is the API. So you can actually use the post request. In our case today, we are going to be using connectors, because all the connectors that you can get in Claude, you can actually use for these routines, which just opens up so many possibilities. And I'm going to show you today a routine using Gmail. So we're going to be using Gmail, and we're going to be using a new connector, which is going to be the Miro MCP connector. Okay, so let's first exit this and set up the Miro MCP connector first. So if we go to settings, and again, you can do this from either web, you can do this from actual Claude Code in terminal, or you can do this in your desktop application as well. So in settings, if we navigate to connectors, we will see some of the connectors that I currently have. I don't have Miro here, so I'm going to set this up. I'm going to go to browse connectors, and there's a lot of them. I mean, the list is just huge. So just have a browse and see what your company is using, or maybe you are using as an individual contributor. And yeah, pick the one you want to use. I use Miro quite a lot, so I'm going to add the Miro one. I'm going to have to allow access to Miro. I'm also using the free version of Miro, so you can go and test it out yourself with the free version. So allow access, organization, which doesn't really mean nothing. This is just for testing. And then allow and continue. We just need to hook this up together. Now it's connected. As you can see, the Miro is connected. You can obviously go to configuration and see what do you want Miro to be able to do, right? I just want to allow all of it. So always allow And then I'm gonna also always allow here as well, because why not, right? And that is it. So Miro is hooked up in our Claude environment. So let's set up our first routine. So I'm not gonna use the templates. I'm just gonna click create routine. You're gonna see that the Miro is already available. So the list automatically shows you which connectors I have. I'm just gonna remove Excalibur and calendar. I don't care about those two. I care about email and the Miro board. What I'm going to show you is, let's just imagine that I have built this application. So this is an app that I'm building using Xcode. It's an iOS application. It's a fully working application, as you can see here. Let's imagine I did send this out to my customers. They've been testing it and they are providing feedback to my email. What I'm asking the routine to do is to actually go and check my email inbox, and you can set this up every day, every morning, every hour, and so on. So I am asking it to go and look at the email inbox, look at any feedback that is related to this snag list application, and then once it has all the information, create the correct information in the Miro board. So this is the Miro board. All you need to do is log into Miro. We have Miro hooked up to Claude, and then just copy the URLs. You just copy the URL, paste it so it knows where to actually create this. So let's paste this again. Sonnet should be fine. We don't need any repository because we don't need that. As you can see, it is going to be running in the cloud. So you can just turn your computer off and forget about it. And then you can schedule it. So let's say we're going to schedule this, maybe daily at 9 a.m. Add a trigger. And then you can add another trigger as well. You can customize it as much as you want. We can see that the Gmail is hooked up here on the left-hand side, and Miro as well. So when I click create, you will see that I have one here. It is already active. And obviously I don't want to wait till tomorrow. So I'm going to just run this. And if we run this, you will see that the routine is going to kick off. And then we will have a look at the actual thinking behind this, what is happening. And automatically what should happen is this Miro board should be updated with the feedback. Good stuff. So let's just kick this off. So I'm going to just run this manually. And I would also suggest, if you are setting up schedules and routines, always test it before you commit to it. So always run this manually for the first time. So let's click into it and see what is actually happening. So it is initializing the session. Again, it is not running on my local machine. It is actually running in the cloud, right? So it's looking at the Gmail. It's trying to figure out the tools, if it has Miro tool. So you can see here, it says that it has the Miro tool. And if it finds the emails, there should be 3 emails and it should pull the information to the Miro here. And as you can see, it already does something. It just created the table. It decided to create a table. It could have been something else, maybe Post-its or just a document, but it decided to create a table. And I'm guessing it's just gonna try and split the feedback from the customers based on, look at that. That's amazing. I mean, and it was so quick. This is amazing. I mean, you can just imagine. I was just playing with this for like 5 minutes because it was introduced like an hour or 2 hours ago. And I can see so many use cases for this. So anyway, you get the summary, bugs that were mentioned, and then the positives as well. And as you can see in the Miro, it was all created automatically. So if you are a product manager or maybe a designer that is user testing or validating ideas, you can definitely have this set up, hook this up to your Gmail or whatever you're using when it comes to the email client, hook this up to Miro, and next morning you come here and you don't have to go and sit through all the emails. You can get like a sentiment analysis also, the type of the issue, then which area of the application they are talking about, and the actual feedback, right? Now, if I were to show you the Claude desktop application, which you see here on the left-hand side, this is the routine, but it is exactly the same thing. So if I click on this, you'll see Gmail, Miro, and then the instruction with the board that is here on the right-hand side. So it is exactly the same thing that we have set up on the web portal. You can do that also from the desktop application, and you can come here and obviously make changes to it as well. So you don't have to use the browser for it. You can use your desktop application. And obviously, because it's obviously Anthropic ecosystem, you get the same option in Claude Code when it comes to being able to see what kind of schedules do we have. So I'll show you this now. So if I go to schedules and I'm gonna say list, you're going to see that this is the schedule that we have actually set up. So if you look at the name, this is the customer feedback. The ID is obviously an Anthropic thing. Then when it was enabled, that it uses MCP, Gmail, and Miro. Now, why it is super powerful is because we have now the MCP from Miro in Claude Code. Because it was set up once, it is available across the whole ecosystem. And because this MCP is available in Claude Code, we can use this MCP to take this feedback from this Miro board into Claude Code and say, hey, Claude Code, look at this Miro board, look at this feedback from customers, and go make changes to my application based on this feedback. Go and fix all the bugs, right? I'm not going to show this to you today. There's going to be a longer video about this. I just want to get this out today so you guys know things are happening and things are super exciting.